We are back to Jewish history here, and we have HAIM Rabbi, or excuse me, it's Dr. HAIM BEINART. You're going to get some facts here. It's going to be difficult to digest. This is until the time of the Black Death. Now, the title of the series that we're working on is The Jews Survived the Middle Ages. Now, I am an Ashkenazi Jew. So I realize, while I feel like I have inside of me a Sephardi, nonetheless, I'm an Ashkenazi Jew who live with Christians. And so you'll see from here, as we go along, as I've said previously, with the Christians, who were called up Christians, are the descendants of the Romans, really. The Romans, descendants of our brother, our full brother, whose name is Made, the made man, Esav. Esav means made. He came out all full of red hair. He's red. His color is red. And his symbol is blood. And so we have Christianity that developed out of that, using Judaism, some of Judaism, and a lot of the general idea of trying to reach a higher level in life, is a religion of blood. The blood of Jesus, who was a Jew, who was sacrificed along with a lot of very idealistic people. So here we have now, just to give us a little start here, he brought us this little piece of artwork. Let me see if I can get it up higher. We can see the whole thing. So this is what it is. It says on the bottom of the page, and now so that you can read it, I'll bring this over here. It says underneath it, this is the opening of the book of Numbers. That's Vayikra. That's not Vayikra, but Midbar in Hebrew. This is a Pentateuch, which means the 5 books of Moses, of the Duke of Sussex. So they call it the Pentateuch. Pent apparently is number 5 in Greek, showing the 4 leading tribes of Israel camping around the tabernacle. Circa early 14th century Ashkenaz, Duke of Sussex. We lived with these people. This is his 5 books of Moses. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to read a few things. The religion of blood, we are living amongst those people, and they are not afraid to spill it. And they think our blood is especially good to spill. Let's talk about this subject. Blood libels. Now, you don't find blood libels anyplace. Like I told you, the religion of blood, or the blood of God, that's the way they call it. The religion of blood is Christianity. Now, maybe it's diversified a bit, but not really. He says blood libels. England had the first recorded case of blood libel, but it was closely followed by other European countries, and the notion even spread to Islamic countries. A libel case occurred in England in 1144 in a place called Norwich, where it was alleged that the Jews of the town bought a Christian child named William, who was apparently an epileptic and died after one of his fits. They bought him before Easter, allegedly tortured him, and then killed him for his blood. This is the religion of blood. The number of libel incidents increased, and the Emperor of Germany, Frederick II, finally decided to clarify the matter. Consulting with decent and learned Jewish converts to Christianity, he initiated an inquiry as to whether Jews use blood for ritual purposes. Now understand this. This is the religion of the blood of Jesus the Jew. Excuse me for saying this so bluntly, but this is the way that I see it. We're still free in the United States to be able to say this. So he says, as to whether Jews use blood for ritual purposes. The Council of the Converts concluded that they did not, and Frederick published a statement to that effect. Now in 1247, Pope Innocent IV issued a bull denouncing blood libels against the Jews. However, the bull did not succeed in eliminating further occurrences of blood libels. This is an accusation that some child somewhere disappeared, and the Jews took his blood to make matzah. This is a terrible, terrible lie. But they enforced it. Pope Gregory X, 1271 to 1276, and knows the years right now, the Jews, we are going to survive this, vigorously combated blood libels, adding a special clause to the Bull of Protection of 1272. Well, that's very nice of him. That didn't stop the blood libel business. In 1343, an attempt was made to sell a Christian child born out of wedlock to the head of the Jewish community in some place called Brünn. A similar offer was made in 1699 to Meyer Goldschmidt, the Jewish court jeweler to the King of Denmark. So people bring children to these rich Jews, thinking that they need them for the sacrifice for their Passover. You can understand how Passover in Europe was not that much fun if you live near these kind of people. In 1540, Pope Paul III, he was from 1534 to 1549, we're really moving up here, issued the bull. See how long this is going on? This started 1100 years around 1100, and now you're up in the 1500s already. Addressed to the bishops of Poland. Now here's a place where the church really seriously hates Jews. He sent it to the bishops of Poland, Bohemia, and Hungary, in which he rejected the allegations that Jews use the blood of Christian children. This is the religion of blood. Their blood, our blood, Jesus was a Jew. This is the religion of the Jews that was taken by the Romans after the conquest of Judea and after the disbursement of the Jews in the diaspora. They picked up this religion. They picked it up from Jews who practiced as this mystical Jesus to be their leader. It's a long way from the religion of blood. So he said in 1540, he said that Jews used the blood of Christian children. There were two major blood libels, whose repercussions spread far beyond the place at which they occurred. One concerned a person called Simon of Trent in the year 1475, who was beatified in the 18th century and whose beatification was canceled in 1965 by Pope Paul VI. The second libel was that of the Holy Child of LaGuardia, that was in Spain, 1490, 1491. This is right before the expulsion, whose body was never found. In this libel, Jews and conversos, now what is a converso? There were many times in which you were offered the chance of converting or becoming a Jew or being dead, or torture for your children and your family. People converted. Once they were converted, they were considered to be Catholics, and any possibility that they would start practicing Judaism again was called, in the words I heard this from Rabbi Beryl Wine, is called I forgot it. It's called a heretic, a reverted heretic. Were accused of attempting to bring the annihilation of Christianity. The Inquisition and the Inquisitor Tomás de Torquemada, by means of the sorcerous use of a child's heart, I'm not sure exactly how he did this. Now remember, you're talking about Christianity actually is the religion of blood. It's that blood that they think is an atonement. Unfortunately, it turns out that there are Jews surrounding them or in their midst. And they take the blood there, the blood of our innocent blood. Another form of libel was the desecration of the host. Now this is another really, really weird one. And we were accused of this as well. Jews were accused of stealing the holy wafer Apparently, I'm not that familiar with Catholic ritual, but I think they put a wafer under their tongue. It's supposed to mean the body of the Messiah. A wafer, and using it in sorcerous ritual in order to destroy Christianity. We were going to take their holy body and they were going to use it against Christianity. Now, here you're talking about Spain in the 15th century, at the end of the 15th century. Spain. So if you're listening or you're looking and seeing what's going on in the war, and you see that the head of the security, or the head of the UN or whatever it is Spaniard, they hate us. They love blood. Think of the bullfights. Such a libel occurred in 1168 at a place called Saragossa in Spain. So that's the desecration of the host. Now, the poisoning of drinking wells was another accusation leveled at the Jews of Europe. That came in the years 1320, 1320, 21. Europe was rife with these libels, all of which ended tragically for the Jewish people. So the religion of blood requires blood. This is Baruch Fleischman, the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, Dr. HAIM BEINART.